Hello everybody and welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports, and today I ordered a part, actually yesterday, for the Camaro because the build is moving forward and I'm very excited about that. So we have a part that was supposed to take, I was actually expecting it like next week sometime, but GM called me today. They said it is in and I'm super excited to check this out. So we are headed over to pick that up as we speak. All right, well, we got it in the car. This is the new splitter for the Camaro. And yeah, this thing, a little steep on the price as far as what I could find, but I think everybody pretty much is charging the same for these things. So might as well get the one from the dealer. It was pretty much the same money as all the aftermarkets and whatever else, but it does fit in the car. We had to take it out of the box first, but I already texted Westy and we're gonna go slap this thing on and see how it looks. Just washed the car, now it's time for the dry cycle. All right, we got the splitter out of the box, since I had to take it out of the box anyway to get it here. And I got some of the packing stuff off, and we're ready to kind of clean up the front of the bumper, get the factory screws out, and kind of get it into place and get ready to pull the tape off, the two-sided tape, so we can get everything kind of lined up where it's supposed to go. And so as helpful as the GM instructions were, which were non-existent because they say to refer to a GM parts manual or some sort of accessories instructions that are only privy to the mechanics at the dealership, we have to basically just figure this out ourselves, but that won't be too hard. We'll get it done. Okay, what we have here is 12 of these 7mm screws, which are a little bit longer than the factory ones. And then we've got two-sided tape that kind of runs along the top of the splitter that's going to go onto our bumper. And these screws are just going to go up in the factory holes where we removed the original ones. Got those all out over there. And just a look underneath this bumper, you can even see where it's kind of black in places, where the factory paint isn't even fully covering this bumper. So putting this splitter on is definitely going to cover up that ugliness and give it a whole new look. All right, they gave us the tiniest alcohol pad in the world to clean this bumper up, so we're going to use those. They gave us two, so we're going to use one for one side, one for the other, kind of get all the oils and things off, so make sure that two-sided tape does some really good adhesion, and we should be good to go on that. Well, everybody, this is my opinion of that new splitter, and it can only be described as dramatic. The change that happened with this car after I put that splitter on is absolutely beyond what I thought it was going to be, and I'm extremely happy with the results. The install on this thing is actually very simple. I would say out of 10, 10 being the hardest thing you've ever done, 1 being putting on Velcro shoes, this would be probably a 2. And it's pretty simple, really. All you have to do is remove, I think it was like 12 screws or something like that on the bottom of the bumper, the factory ones, which are a little bit shorter, and they do provide longer ones in the kit. So you're all good to go as far as that is. Just get somebody to hold one end of it so you can line it up in place. And it does have a red protective plastic that goes over top of the two-sided tape. And just kind of pull that forward a little bit so you've got enough that you can grab a hold of it when it is in place, so then it's not going to stick on you when in a place where your bolts aren't lined up and things like that. So get it up in place, make sure that's nicely cleaned with the alcohol pads so that gets really good adhesion. push it on, hold it down for a little while, so make sure that everything is really nice and tight on that, and then just evenly tighten up your screws and you're good to go. And it's a very simple job. This took probably about 15 minutes, and we took our time, so not a big deal at all. Definitely recommend it if this is the look you're going for. And yeah, on to the next thing. All right, well, it's Saturday, and it's time to start doing a little maintenance on the Camaro. We've got about 1,700 miles, so I think it's a good time to get that oil changed and put some brand new Mobile 1 in this one. So I got a new filter, I got some oil, and I'm going to put it up on the ramps and get this changed out. Alright, well, this is just a few tips on doing an oil change on the 2017 Camaro, because this is the first one that I've done, and I just want to kind of give the tips that I have in going through this process and things like that, and hopefully helps you out. Okay, first of all, we now have our really low front splitter. Now, my solution for that is a set of these race ramps. They're actually made out of like a composite material, and they're really light. And I got these on Amazon. I think they're somewhere around $250 or something like that. But they are extra long, so you're able to get a car like this up on them, no problem at all. I'm pretty sure you could get a Corvette on these too. Don't quote me on that, but it does give you plenty of room with the Camaro. So we're going to pull this up on the ramps here and get started. Okay, I will admit the visibility on getting this up the ramps is not the greatest. Basically what I did is I had to open the door, kind of sit on the door sill and run the clutch and the gas and get it up the best way I could, which actually worked out not too badly. We didn't scrape, so that was always a good thing, especially after buying a brand new splitter for like 470 bucks. And we're up on the ramps and we have lots of room to get this job done. One thing I do when I do an oil change is I let the car idle a little bit, just kind of get that oil warmed up and everything like that, so when you do pull the plug it doesn't take forever to come out and you end up getting more of the old oil out of the engine, and then you make room for your new clean stuff. So what we're going to be doing today is switching to synthetic. We're going to Mobile 1, which is something that I try to do with most of my vehicles, unless they're like an old one that leaks a lot or something like that. But definitely on a performance engine I want to run the best oil I can, so Mobile 1 synthetic is my choice, and I got the factory AC Delco filter. So let's get this drained out and get some new stuff put in. Okay, we're underneath the car here now, and our drain plug is a 15mm socket, and just a 3/8 ratchet will work just fine for that. And take note how much force it took to remove this plug, because you don't want to over tighten these things, because you can end up stripping the oil pan or the plug or whatever, and then you end up with a lot of issues. So let's see how dirty this oil is after 1,700 miles. As you can see, it is actually fairly dark. I mean, I've definitely seen a lot worse, but this is only 1,700 miles on a brand new engine. So it's good to get that initial oil change out of the way. I'm not quite sure what exactly GM spec is for this, but I definitely wanted to get it done sooner rather than later. So for anybody wondering how much oil one of these 6.2 liter LT1s take, they take 10 quarts of your choice 5W30 and a PF64 AC Delco oil filter. That's the brand you choose to use, but this is my choice for the best cleaning and lubrication qualities as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to be using these products in my vehicle. All right, in the lead engineering catch can that we have here, you just remove the 113mm bolt and then just lift this cover up a little bit to give you some slack on your hose, and you're able to get it up and loosen off the canister, and we'll see how much oil's in there. Okay, everybody, for the ones that said the catch can is not proven or whatever, you can see how much oil's in there, and that's not in very much time whatsoever. And this is all stuff that did not go into the engine and be reburnt. So now we're able to just dump it out like our regular oil and not have all that stuff going through our engine. Okay, we got our new filter on. We got our drain plug nicely snugged up and tight, and we made sure we didn't have two gaskets on our filter surface, and that was nicely clean. And just gonna wipe up a couple little drips that I saw here, and we're ready to go fill up our oil. Another thing that's nice about the catch can hose is it kind of holds your funnel up in place there, so it's not too far down. You don't end up pouring oil all over the place. But gonna get this oil in here and good to go. Okay, we got our catch can back in place. We've got our oil cap on. We've got 10 quarts of oil in here. Make sure when you fire it up for the first time, you see your oil pressure come up to make sure that you didn't leave the drain plug out or something stupid like that. You don't want to run this thing out of oil, definitely not. So now we're just going to let this thing sit for a few minutes, and then we're going to check our oil level, and everything should be good to go. Make sure you have no leaks underneath, and always double check your oil drain plug and your filter for tightness. Make sure that's all good to go, because you don't want to lose your oil down the road somewhere and end up costing you a bunch of money. But other than that, doing your own oil change is pretty simple stuff, and anybody can pretty much do it. So being that it's a nice Saturday, it's time to go out and enjoy the car a little bit now that I have the peace of mind that I've got a fresh Mobil 1 oil change done. And it's going to go rip down the roads and have some fun with it. So if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Keep that hammer down.